Hi everyone, my name is LHudson, and about 2 months ago I made a video announcing a Patreon that was quite there. It was just an announcement with nothing to it. Since then I've released a few videos, and now I think is a good time to explain my Patreon page since I have an okay understanding of it. First of all, I have a Patreon page, and you can find it in the descriptions of all my videos or at patreon.com/LHudson. Second of all, I have a Twitter that you can find a little further down in my video descriptions or at LHudsonX. And thirdly, I want to take some time to answer some questions regarding my Patreon and where my content is going to go from there. If you feel that there's a question unanswered, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll answer them if I can. So let's start with arguably the most important question that I feel needs to be answered. Why create a Patreon? I believe Patreon is a fantastic platform to support content creators on YouTube, despite having Darkside Phil on it. Also, some viewers have openly told me that they wanted to pledge to support the work I do on here, so I wanted them to have that option open to them, and at the age of 24, you need to think a little more economically. Regardless of what happens, you as a viewer are going to get the same content as before. Nothing is getting adjusted, nothing is going to get locked off that was offered before. It's simply a way for you to support me on a per video basis, which I highly appreciate. Why pay per video? If you look at my video releases, or more specifically the dates, you'll know that my release schedule is very inconsistent. More often than not I release a video per month, or 2 if it's a good month, but on a few occasions I fail to release one, and while I know it's more common to pledge on a per month basis, as with most creators, I personally don't believe in taking money for work that hasn't been completed. In essence, you pay for the content produced, not the content promised. What videos are going to be charged? Very broad question, but I'll use some of my previous works as examples. The self-contained analysis videos, the reviews, and heavily edited content will be videos covered under Patreon. Videos like podcasts, update videos, and this video you are watching won't be covered under Patreon. As for multi-part analysis videos, I plan to have the individual parts not covered under Patreon, except for the final part. Once that is released, a video containing all the parts will be released, not paid for, and will include the named patrons who paid for that final part. In the case of the Heavy Rain series, you'll be paying for part 5 only, before being credited in a later video combining all 5 parts. What if I want to limit my donation to 1 per month? The good news is that Patreon has an optional pledge limit, so if you only want to pledge for 1 or 2 videos maximum a month, you don't need to scramble in your account options to find it. What am I getting out of it? Alright, on to the good stuff. I have 2 different tiers on my Patreon: Donator, which I'm sure will irk some people through the name alone, and Subscriber, which will come at $1 and $10 respectively. The $1 Donator tier will give you access to Patron posts, which will in addition give you access to polls which revolve around subject suggestions, in addition to an on-screen credit as a way to make your permanent mark on my videos. Also, when my videos are released, you will gain access to the scripts for your viewing pleasure, and access to a Discord server where we can have a chat about whatever. The subscriber tier is mostly the same, but with 2 added rewards which tie into influencing the content I make. For starters, you can suggest topics which might interest me for the poll, and in some cases I might ask you for some input in regards to the subject, which will more or less be providing a second opinion on a subject or a certain element. What if I don't want on-screen credit? There's going to be some cases where some of you will want to pledge but don't want your name or alias to be made public on my videos, and that's fine, but I do want to acknowledge your generosity because I feel it's important to thank you for giving me your money. So, if you don't want your name to be listed, feel free to message me on the site and I'll be more than happy to change your credit to an anonymous patron. Don't worry, it's not going to make my credits look like Mighty No. 9's, where it was 4 hours of mostly unnamed backers. Instead, I'm going to include anonymous backers as a number. Your name won't be made public, and your contribution will not be left thankless. And that's the questions I currently have. I'm currently working on Heavy Rain Part 2 while writing the script for one of the suggestions posted on a Patreon poll. I hope to get it completed within 2 weeks, but it should be out by the end of the month no matter what. As always, thank you for supporting me with your continued viewership, and have a wonderful day.